What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to a couple of subscribers for showing love. Shout out to Wilson Linares, I believe it is, with the donation to the channel via the PayPal. You said belated birthday gift. Well, 7 months, hey, better late than never. Better late than never. That's the way I look at it. Salute to you, man, for showing love. And just the thought that counts. And you didn't have to do it anyway. So salute to you, man. I remember you donating before my 43rd birthday. By the way, my birthday is June 15th. I hope by that time, we'll be thick in the heart of the NBA finals at that point in time. And hopefully, if everything goes right, I'll be covering it like I do every year. And salute to you for showing love once again. I also want to give a shout out to the brother Kita Auto with the $10 donation via the PayPal. And he has a donation request. And he says, it's refreshing to hear someone give the game the respect it deserves. You're like the friend of an older brother that just comes over to talk ish and laugh, LOL. For a while now, I've been making an argument, mostly with people online, about the fact that I believe that your on-court demeanor and overall how you carry yourself as a player and a man should dictate how you are remembered in terms of basketball GOAT or top 5 or top 10 ranking. My argument is LeBron could and should never be seen as the GOAT because he lacks determination, shies away from tough moments, doesn't get back on defense, cries after every single damn play, doesn't take accountability when he gets blown by a defender, as a defender, And most importantly, the dude flops to goddamn much. Vlad D-Rock rolling over in his grave right now. I traded basketball cards after school every day with my friends in the 90s, and I don't remember one time saying I don't want a particular card and it ends at that point in time. But I get the gist of it. That somehow LeBron James disqualifies himself from the GOAT conversation because of how he conducts himself. That's one of the frequent criticisms of LeBron James. And I think it's definitely a warranted one because I have the same issues with him. Now, some people are going to say, well, does character count? Ty Cobb is considered one of the great baseball players of all time, right? And, Ty Cobb was, although there have been some efforts now to sort of tone down his racism, during his lifetime and many decades afterwards, he was an unavowed WS, a racist, has had multiple instances where he got into it with African Americans, whether it was at the ball club, in the crowds, once infamously referred to Babe Ruth as N-word lips, refused to lounge with Babe Ruth early on in their careers because he was under the belief that Babe Ruth was part N-word. Arguably, may have even unalived the person in Detroit, I think it was, back in 1912. I remember certain correct about reading about him. And this guy beat up a disabled man in the crowd, right? This guy would be like the worst person in sports right now. No amount of white privilege could erase the negative press that this guy would be getting. But he's considered one of the all-time greats. So by comparison, LeBron James is almost Gandhi. But still, the fact remains that he does things that, are unbecoming of somebody of his stature or his status. I don't like how he's a front runner to me. When the going gets tough out there on the basketball court, he shies away offensively. He doesn't want any part of basketball. He's Magic Johnson when things are going wrong. However, when the team gets into a run, goes into one of those nice streaks where offensively everything is clicking, then suddenly, especially at the moment when people tend to remember, which is the big bucket where the team goes ahead or the team ties, then all of a sudden he has the usage rate of Kobe, James Harden, Jordan. All of a sudden he wants to shoot the basketball. He's the ultimate front runner. When the team has a nice 19, 20-point cushion, then suddenly he wants to shoot the basketball. But when it's a situation when the team is struggling, all of a sudden he doesn't want to shoot the basketball. He wants to pad his rebounding and assist numbers and say, look, I did my job. I had a triple-double. Blame others. That part pisses me off with this guy. There is something to that with him. Just in late game situations, period, the guy shies away from moments where, look, there's risk involved. You know, this guy is obsessed with his field goal percentage. He will not take a desperation shot or a shot at the buzzer, which doesn't seem to be an almost assured field goal for him. He's obsessed with how the public and how the media perceive him, to the point where, and I believe this, and I think most of us believe this, the scope of clutch media is so profound to the point where they obviously have plants everywhere, enough pull so that they can dictate how LeBron James in particular is portrayed in the media. Then, you know, there's also this thing that bothers me with him. Whenever the team is losing, I've seen this dude prematurely leave the floor. Now, we get on Isaiah Thomas or some whatever, you know, back in the day for the walk-off or poor sportsmanship by certain players, but I never see this guy called out in the media for being a poor sport. We see him do this all the time where he just walks off the court, doesn't shake his opponent's hands. But when the Lakers are winning, he's smiling, he's cheesing, he's taking photos with guys. You know, he's all cheerful. But when they lose, he leaves, goes to the locker room. People can say, oh, well, he's doing it because he's ticked off and he's a competitor and he's probably back in the locker room going off. But that would be more believable if I didn't see so many different times where Lakers are down by 15 and 20, he's laughing and joking on the bench. So, I really find it hard to believe for the most part. The flopping, absolutely. You know, he's one of the big, don't get me wrong, he's not the first guy to do that. Rodman did it on occasion in the 90s. Vlade Divac took it to another level in the 2000s. But LeBron James, man, this guy made it almost acceptable to flop. And to the point where flopping was severely frowned upon before LeBron James did it, to the point where he perfected to an art form where he had other guys then take it to another level. But, he's just been a negative influence in the game. Even when it comes to collusion with other stars to form quote-unquote super teams, not taking a responsibility or accountability for when things are going wrong, but wanting all the credit when things go great, not playing defense, like the poster said. How many times we've seen LeBron get beaten as a defender, guys blow by him, the guy gets a score because the other guys aren't able to recover and help and alter the guy's shot or stop him from scoring. And then somehow everybody's looking at the guy who wasn't able to recover and help off of LeBron's man who blew by LeBron, and somehow it's his fault. Then LeBron, blows his defensive assignment and then looks at the other guy like it's his fault. How many times we see that? It's just terrible. The guy takes no accountability whatsoever. And it's gotten worse. And the media is culpable in that. But when we call it out, we're called haters. No, what we're doing is we're basically evening the playing field. We're tired of seeing other people get blamed, role players usually, for this guy's deficiencies. So yeah, to me, character does matter, man. It does. It matters a lot in these situations. From a talent perspective, LeBron Ramon James is a great player. If you're taking into account his longevity and records, yes, that puts him way up there. But look what we saw in football, right? We saw a lot of people in the NFL who did not like Terrell Owens personally. We saw Skip Bayless call him Team Obliterator. And as a consequence of that, he was not elected in his first year of eligibility in the Hall of Fame, which was an absolute disgrace. There was payback, right? Which shows the media still has some power, right? I'm not saying that LeBron shouldn't be elected in his first year of eligibility. We know it's going to happen. My issue is that, yeah, when you're talking about this GOAT conversation, LeBron Ramon James, to me, is not a great ambassador to the game. He's not. He's not on the same level as a Julius Erving. And can we honestly say, at this point, that despite his 22 years in the game, and I don't know when he's leaving. There's some rumors that this might be his last year. I suspect next year is going to be his last year because he likes to break records, and he wants to break Vince Carter's record for most seasons played because that's what he does. He's all about numbers and records. But whatever the case may be, can we honestly say that LeBron Ramon James is going to leave the game in a better place than when he found it? I mean, in 2003, he was the chosen one, as people tell me. He was the guy that was going to take the NBA to another level that we had not even seen, right? Even with Michael Jordan, supposedly. And unlike Michael Jordan, who took what Dr. J and Larry Bird and Magic did and took it to an even higher level, LeBron Ramon James has brought the game down to its lowest level since as far as public interest, at least since the 1970s. And as a product, in my opinion, it's the lowest it's been since maybe the 50s. It's just the game is, for the most part, unwatchable. And that's not just his fault. It's that Adam Silver, the culture, the analytics, with all that stuff, though, man. But yeah, I do think there's some credence to this. That despite LeBron James being a phenomenal basketball player, nobody takes it away from him. I mean, that's the thing that gets lost in translation. I know we criticize him a lot, but he's still a phenomenal basketball player. But when you talk about the GOAT, then I'm sorry, that brings with it extra critique, because if you're talking about being better than Michael Jordan, then we have to hold you to the utmost standard, the utmost. And he doesn't hit those marks, in my opinion. He just doesn't do it. I've never watched LeBron James and said to myself, man, this is the best player I've ever seen in my life. I've just never seen it. I don't know. Maybe it just hits differently with me. I just never seen, he never moved me like that. I see a guy that's really good, and he's definitely going to be elevated because of his longevity and health. And he is a Methuselah. Plus, there's, some other stuff that hurts him too, that the media doesn't tackle. But anyway, that's all I got to say about this one. Tell me what you guys think.